I'm very happy to be joined by Timon Smektala, who's from Techlands, to talk about the newest IP from you guys, which is Dying Light, which was first kind of shown to the world at E3 earlier this year. Obviously, you guys have experience with zombies, with the Dead Island series, but you seem to be going in a slightly different approach. How would you sort of distinguish the two? What's the big difference?
Yes, we go in a very different direction. Well, Dead Island was really like a hack and slash with zombies, and Dying Light is a first-person open-world action survival game. So it's a game built on different pillars. It's a game that asks you to consider your decisions all the time. It's not only fighting, it's also evading danger, it's also using everything that you can find in the environment to maybe lure the zombies away. So it's many different things, and the feel of the game is completely different.
That's the most clear thing upon watching it. It's definitely a different tone, a much different look, and yeah, the gameplay is quite distinct. In the video that we're looking at right now, if you wouldn't mind kind of setting it up where it is in the game and where it's taking place.
Okay, I think it's like the first part of our game. The game is taking place in a fictional city called Haran. It's a city which is a cultural capital of a country where East meets West, where, as we say, ancient history resides alongside modern civilization. And it's a city that has been influenced by many real-life locations. And I think that the most important inspiration for us was Istanbul.
Which is obviously quite surprising, because you take one look at it, you see a lot of ferns, you kind of see what looks like favelas. I'm thinking more Latin America, but
yes, we get that all the time. But I think when people see the rest of the game, everything that we've prepared, they will understand why is it based on Istanbul.
So one of the most striking things is clearly how you're moving through the world. I don't want to say parkour, but you seem to be a little specialized in your ability to navigate.
That's a system that we call natural movement, and it's something that we are really proud of because we've created something that allows you unprecedented freedom of traversing the environment, and it's all from the first-person perspective. So it's quite an achievement, and I think that when people will be able to play it, they will have hard time going back to other games. So we get that with our play testers. When they play our game for a couple of hours, then they tell us that it's hard for them to play this and that because this and that game doesn't have that system. So it is something which really changes the formula, and I think it's really something that makes us unique.
Because there's no HUD up on the screen, it's unclear how much is sort of, you know, if you're just kind of running and it's happening naturally. How much are you hitting a button or using a trigger to be able to slide under something to jump onto a telephone pole?
Yes, so it is all skill-based, so it's not automatic. So you have to press a button to grab onto ledges, to climb. But I think we've managed to create a system that's really naturally flowing, that really people can very easily grab, understand, and then they'll be happy just traversing the environment.
Obviously, if it's that open, and it's quite evident in the demo, like you can go whatever direction, and it looks like the architecture is meant to allow you to travel everywhere. There's some dangers that come with that in terms of giving good guidance to the player so they don't go so far off the mark. How are you trying to sort of keep the player engaged with the story while also giving them all this freedom?
To be honest, we don't try too hard to keep players engaged. If they want to explore the environment, they're free to do so. And it's one of the pillars of our game to give players freedom to do what they like. So there are lots of missions, lots of content, lots of encounters that are dynamically just put there for the players. So I think if they don't want to follow the story, if they want to do something else, they really have freedom to do so.
Now, you also kind of say that the game is survival horror.
Yes. Well, not really survival horror. We call it action survival.
Exactly, but it gives me the sense that you don't have a ton of weapons. You don't have a ton of things at your disposal to take out the enemies. How much of it is combat oriented, and how much is you avoiding combat?
Well, really, it's up to a player. If he wants to specialize in combat, then he can do so. But we give players many other options to play and to overcome any obstacles that we've created. So it's combat, but it's also using the natural movement skills. There are also many things in the environment that people can use. For example, if you see a car, maybe you can activate that car's alarm, and this alarm will lure the zombies away. Maybe there's some electric box which you can break into. Maybe you can create a kind of trap out of it. So really there are lots of options, and we try to balance it to make people just decide what they want to do, and like each second is a decision. Should I fight, or should I maybe climb on a building and run through roofs?
I mean, obviously, you're putting you and your team obviously in this situation where you have to be very, very detail-oriented. That these opportunities exist within the world, and that the system all holds together and doesn't fall apart.
Well, it is hard, but our studio grew like twofold or threefold since the release of the Techlands, so we have the capability to do so, and I have to use this opportunity to say that our level designers are really great people that are aware of every consequence that our gameplay systems produce, so they just taken everything into consideration, and they managed to do a game that really is a pleasure to play.
Now the game is called Dying Light, and one of the things that is quite clear at the end of this gameplay look is sun goes down, the zombies seem to take on stronger skills. The whole sense, I guess for lack of a better word, like the sonar that you see coming out.
We call it night sense. So it's night sense, and yes, the game really is a game changer. And as you've noticed, when the night falls, the zombies, the infected, as we call them, become way more aggressive, more dangerous. So it really changes how you play. It changes your behavior. It changes the behavior of the zombies, and it really is like quite different game. Like you could say that you get two games in one with Dying Light, but of course systems that we use during the night and systems that we use during the day overlap each other. So yeah, it's like two games merged into one.
You guys are based in Poland.
Yes.
Probably the other most notable Polish game developer is CD Projekt Red.
Yes, exactly.
The one thing I would have to say, especially after our talk today, is both teams seem to have a very, very sort of ambitious work ethic, and really an attention to detail. Is that? Would you say that's kind of a cultural thing that's happening in that part of Europe?
I think it's a Polish thing really, because we are leaders of the development industry, game development industry in our region, and I think it's because we just want to create games as good as possible, and as you said, we have very high ambitions, and I hope we are able to make those ambitions reality.
And I do too. What I've seen is already very intriguing. I look forward to seeing more. It'll be coming out in 2014 on next-gen systems?
Next gen and current gen. So it's Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
Like I said, ambition. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much.